All right, so it's been probably like 2 or 3 years ago, but I did a review on the Ego chainsaw and their weed eaters. And this is an update review on these products. And originally, there was a few things that I was not happy with this saw. And namely, that was this single tightening, this chain tightening and bar tightening mechanism that they had. Because what I'm used to is being able to tighten my chain independently from tightening the bar, and that allows me to optimize where, see, this chain to me is too tight, and I pointed that out in my first video. And Ego, it seemed like they must have watched my video or somebody else complained about it, or maybe their engineers came up with something, but immediately after that video they changed it and they made it better. Okay, so kudos for that. But here's what my review is so far. This saw I've used extensively. You can see that it has indeed been well used. I've had it for several seasons and it's done okay. The first season it done really well. The second season the throttle started giving me issues. It was an electronical issue, and I'd hit the throttle and it wouldn't go, and then it would go, and then it would stop, and then it would go. And so it was just on and off, and it was a little frustrating, quite frankly. And so third season, it got worse. It still works. I can't use that one. It still works, but it's weird. And let me demonstrate if I can. Okay, did you hear that? It took a few seconds for it to get going, and then when it did get going, it went, and it does that while you're cutting it, and it's frustrating. It's gotten worse. Okay, I'm pushing on the button. Okay, see how it's just not responsive, and I know it's an electronical issue, and you know, I'm not going to harp on Ego real bad, but I mean, come on. I know they're kind of probably still in research and development, but that to me is very annoying, and the saw should have lasted longer than just, you know, one season before it started acting up. This was the original battery that came with it. This thing never really had a lot of capacity, but it's held up, okay? It's probably like 3 years old right now, or older maybe, huh? How long have we had? Because we bought the saw and then we bought the weed eater. Did we buy the weed? We bought the weed eater, and the weed eater came with this, and then later I bought the saw. That's what happened. And so we've had this for a while, and it's been pretty good. And then we bought this other battery, okay? This was from Lowe's. We purchased this from Lowe's, and this thing's malfunctioning. As you can see, it will not work in the machine, and this ain't cheap. If you guys know what these things cost, they're like, I don't know. I'll see if I can find the receipt, and I'll put it in the description. But it seemed like it was like 300 bucks. Now, that seems to be okay, but the problem is this thing will not fully charge. It gets up to 1 or 2 bars, and that's it. And it's clearly malfunctioning. And then you don't have, you know, the usage that this thing originally had. Because I was very happy with this battery. You know, with this battery and this battery, it gave my chainsaw about an hour's worth of use. Okay, that's on and off use. That wasn't continuous. And I was able to load the back of my little flatbed up, if you can get a shot of my little flatbed there, kind of, you know, kind of mounded halfway with firewood. And then, and that was pretty much a day's work for me too, because by then I'm tired and I want to go home. And so, yeah, that worked out good. And if that would have just kept on performing like that for the next, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years, you know, of course the batteries are going to diminish over time, just like you notice in your DeWalt tools or your Milwaukee, and I knew that was going to happen. But I didn't think the battery was just going to completely crap out on me. And that's what's happened. Now, is this a fluke? I don't know, but I'm going to point it out. I think it's horrible, actually, especially for what you pay for these stupid things. The chargers seem to be working pretty good. Now, you notice I got 2 weed eaters here. This one's completely died, okay? The motor burned up. It took all it could take, and it can't take no more. And which was sad, because I like this. It had the fiber, the carbon fiber pole or whatever you call it, and the ergonomics were nice. You know, the balance and everything was really nice on this thing. and it had a ton of power. I mean, it's unbelievable how much power these have. You turn them on and they don't sound like they're doing much. As soon as you hit that grass, you can really feel it kick in. And there hasn't been really much that I couldn't do with this compared to a gas weed eater. I mean, really, these things are comparable to gas weed eaters. So I thought, well, that's a fluke. The motor burned up, and I need to buy another one because we got a couple, seasons out of this one here of hard use. You can see how it's caked on there. So we bought another one. And then right after we bought this, of course, the battery went bad. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? With the chainsaw, the battery, and then one of these things going bad, I got to do my follow-up review on this because, I'm kind of disgusted actually in Ego right now. And because I promoted them so heavily in the beginning. And, I'm not afraid to give people bad reviews. And, but these guys really haven't given me any reason to give them a good review at this point. And again, research and development. Maybe they've already fixed all these problems and maybe everything's fine. What I'd like is if you guys own an Ego to put your experience in the comments down below. But that's all I have for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you guys haven't already.